Il faut cultiver son jardin. For all of those who asked me for a video on something in French, I will start with this sentence from a French philosopher, Voltaire, which is one of the most beautiful teachings of the French culture, according to me, and one of the most useful lessons to remember during these difficult times. We must cultivate our garden. This is the story of a young and naive boy, Candide, whose master teaches him that we are living in the best world ever, the best possible world. And at some point, Candide has to leave the country. He's experiencing terrible things, war, natural disasters. His lover is being kidnapped, he's being stolen, he's being betrayed. So terrible things are happening to him. And through these experiences, he discovers that his master's philosophy is actually false, is actually wrong. So he will also meet people who will gradually change his philosophy of life. For instance, he will meet a dervish who will show him what not to do. First, not talking too much, and second, not having predetermined ideas or preconceived ideas. So keeping a blank and pure mind. Then he will meet an old man and his family who have a garden and they are cultivating the garden and making jams. So this is their lifestyle and it is a very simple and happy life. They are very happy with this lifestyle. So through this old man, Candide will understand what to do. Find simple joys and cultivate your talents. And it also means to be satisfied with your own garden, with what you have been given and the place you have been put in. So Candide understands that happiness comes from inner evolution and from inner growth and by cultivating your spiritual garden. Some say that this writer advises to withdraw from society. I don't think so. I think he advises to take care of your evolution in priority, your spiritual evolution, and to find an inner peace and make it grow, and find inner virtues and make them grow, maintain them like flowers growing in your garden. In this case, we must cultivate our garden, would mean cultivating your own know-how and starting to exercise your own talents in order to make the most of what life has given to you, in order to give meaning to your life and to reach spiritual freedom. It also implies that each individual, each person, each being presents a natural talent, and then it's up to them to make it flourish and make it grow or not. According to the old man's advice in the book, this is the way to get rid of boredom, of need and vice, and reach happiness. Now, why do I think that this is a great formula of French culture? Well, I think this idea is very close to what we can learn from the Holy Scriptures. I'll give you one example in Islam because I think this describes actually the state of Islam. So to take one example, we have in French one great translator of the Quran, the best actually according to me, Maurice Gloton. For those who are not familiar with the Quran, there is the word Imân in it, which is most of the times translated by faith or belief. But Maurice Gloton, this French translator, translated it by updating the entrusted deposit. Updating, refreshing the deposit, like the treasure that has been entrusted, has been put inside of you by God. According to the root of the word, which implies righteousness and loyalty and trust, therefore also the respect for the pact which has been made between Allah and us. So this deposit that God entrusted to us is a treasure containing the set of qualities and of virtues that we must develop in our life. And by developing this gift that God has given us, we can rise towards Him like a tree towards the sun. To better understand, Maurice Gloton gives us also the contrary, the word kufr, and it is very often translated by unbeliever. And the root of this word implies the idea of burying something, concealing the deposit, denying it. So Imân in this sense has nothing to do with belief, but with faith, in the sense of trust and in the sense of an act, the respect of the pact which has been made between God and us. So this deposit, this treasure, we have to exploit it faithfully by cultivating our human qualities, but also our individual talents. So the mu'min, the believer, translated by believer most of the times, is actually not the one who believes, but the one who activates the deposit of God in him. So he's activating, he's using this deposit, this gem within his inner self, and he's executing his natural spiritual predispositions. By activating his spiritual functions, he becomes who he really is. He's actually activating his spirit, that is himself. So by cultivating your inner garden, you become alive, you become free and happy. I really hope that this example can make you feel how great this formula is. Cultivate your inner garden. I think there is a deep and powerful knowledge in this sentence. It is telling us to take care of our inner self, of the highest part of ourselves. So having faith is not a theoretical belief anymore. It's an act. It's actually an inner work, a gardening, right? It's actual, it's pragmatic, and it's practical. If you have a real and beautiful talent, and I'm sure you have because everybody does, then you have to exploit it, you have to use it, you have to make it grow. This is the way to happiness, the key to happiness and the key to life. These days, I know that many people have to stop working or find another source of income or find another job. So this is why I wanted to make this video today on this topic. We need strength in these difficult times, so I hope it worked for you. Stay safe, God bless you, and see you next time.